Top 8 foods that damage your heart. Imagine this. All of us are going on about our lives, enjoying different kinds of food, meeting new people, and working at some top-notch company, when suddenly, this fleeting sense of routine and time is paused by hearing about somebody having a heart attack. Whether a person survives a heart attack or not is not the problem here. The problem is that you don't have to imagine all of this because it is very real and unfortunately very common. Hearing about somebody having heart problems is such old news now that we don't even get shocked and proceed to ask about what medicines they were prescribed because now they are so well known. But what is happening? And more importantly, why is it happening? Heart problems don't exist because of some contagious disease that can spread like COVID. Then why is it that almost everyone we know has or knows somebody that has a heart problem? If you're thinking that obesity and the culture of fast food have something to do with it, you're on the right track. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, 41.9% of Americans are obese, which makes up around 100 million people. The same people pay more for their health-related costs as compared to people who have a healthy weight, by an amount which approximates to $1,800. Why are we mentioning obesity here? One of the major health risks associated with obese people is heart disease, which is the reason for death for 1 in every 5 deaths in the US, as after every 33 seconds, a person in the US dies because of a cardiovascular disease. Now you might be wondering why we are telling you about all these scary facts related to heart diseases, and that's because we want you to understand how eating food can directly affect your heart's health. So much so that some of these beloved foods are prohibited by doctors for people who have gone under a cardiac surgery. But how can different foods damage our heart? Isn't it supposed to provide our body with enough nutrition and energy to help make sure that all our body processes keep working smoothly? That is absolutely true. But what you might not understand is that some foods have a higher quantity of harmful lipids, sugar, salt, or any other such food ingredients that make it unsafe for people at risk of heart disease, and therefore they should be avoided. As a very famous physician named Hippocrates once said, "Let thy food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food," which means that we consider eating leafy greens, nuts, and berries because we believe they have magical healthy properties. The opposite can also be true, in the sense that bad foods can cause problems for our organs, such as the heart. So what are some of these foods that we need to avoid? The sad news is that they are so easily available and a part of our daily food intake that it's super easy to overlook them. But that is exactly why we are here with our list of 8 foods that can damage your heart and which you should avoid. Number 8. Alcohol. This one seems like a no-brainer, but for people who enjoy drinking out with friends or sipping their favorite whiskey while they unwind on the weekends, this is a hard-to-swallow pill. But it's better to swallow this pill than the lifetime prescribed pills that prevent you from getting a heart attack. First of all, alcohol can contribute to obesity, which we know can cause heart problems. And that's just the beginning of our problems with alcohol. It can also cause the release of stress hormones such as cortisol, which raises the blood pressure, which makes the heart pump with more difficulty, and the heart's rate goes up. If you need any more evidence, there's a special name given to heart disease that is caused because of alcohol consumption. It's called alcoholic cardiomyopathy, or ACM, and it stops the heart from functioning properly. Number 7. Butter. Who doesn't love a good butter toast in the morning? Or a good serving of butter chicken? Or a bread and butter pudding after you're done eating the main course? All of these are delicious options with one common main ingredient, making everything taste better. Yes, we're talking about butter. But hold up. Why is butter on our list of bad foods to avoid? That's because even though we all love butter, it contains high amounts of saturated fat that increases bad cholesterol called low-density lipoprotein, or LDL, which can build up around the walls of blood vessels, causing a disturbance in the smooth flowing of blood through these vessels and contributing to a rise in blood pressure. Number 6. White rice. White rice seems harmless and very insignificant because they're so easy to cook and are a side dish for many food items, so it doesn't make sense for them to be dangerous, does it? Well, you might want to reconsider that thought. The problem with white rice, white bread, and any other food made from white flour is that they're so processed that they lose a good amount of fiber and other important nutrients that make them good for health, and instead, they tend to be converted to sugar easily, which can harm our heart's health. This is because after some time, this sugar isn't controllable by the insulin our body makes, and we start to have insulin resistance, which can lead to diabetes, which can further damage our heart. Number 5. Sodas. When we think of sodas, we think of a cold drink that helps us cool off during a hot summer day. We also think about how it has a lot of sugar in it, and that's bad for diabetes. Our heart's health seldom comes to mind when we drink a soda, but we're about to give you a new perspective on this. One of the very well-known risk factors of heart disease is a high blood glucose level, which can easily be accomplished when you drink a lot of sodas. One study found that increased consumption of added sugars, such as that in soda, was connected to an increased risk of developing heart disease in US adults. Number 4. Fast foods. Most of us have such busy schedules that we seldom find time to cook something for ourselves, so it's just easier to grab a slice of pizza from your favorite pizza place or have a burger with a friend that you've been longing to meet, and adding an extra serving of fries is only going to make the meal better. The fast food that you're eating might give you a good experience, but it's going to create so many health problems for you later that when you find out about them, you're going to want to limit your consumption of them. Fast food doesn't contain a good amount of nutrients, but they are full of unhealthy fats and calories. They also contain added sugars and chemicals to make them more delicious, and the same chemicals trigger many health problems, one of which is heart disease. They can also build plaque in the walls of arteries, which can restrict the flow of blood, cause high blood pressure, and ultimately damage the heart's health. Number 3. Highly processed foods. We can't talk badly about fast foods and let highly processed foods or ultra-processed foods get sidelined, because both of them are harmful when consumed in great quantities. These foods are high in calories and sugar and do not leave you feeling fulfilled. They are heated, crushed, and processed with so many additives that the end product is as far away from its organic form as possible. Don't just take our word for it, but believe what researchers have to say. One such research based in Italy concluded that increased consumption of ultra-processed foods was linked to a higher risk of getting cardiovascular diseases. Another similar research based in Brazil suggested that there should be food policies that limit the intake of ultra-processed foods to help reduce the increase in cardiovascular diseases. Number 2. Red meat. Full of protein and so many other great nutrients, it's hard to imagine that red meat would be on our list. But there's a reason why doctors ask their heart patients to limit their intake of red meat, and we'll tell you why. Red meat can increase the level of cholesterol in your body, which can cause obstruction to the blood flow and raise blood pressure. Moreover, new studies have found that red meat contains trimethylamine N-oxide, or TMAO, which can alter many metabolic processes and cause many health problems such as arteriosclerosis, where a plaque builds up inside the arteries. Number 1. Fried items. At the top of our list are fried items, and if you thought letting go of red meat was bad, think about ditching French fries. This is because fried items have trans fatty acids, which are the worst fatty acids you could consume. This is because they raise the level of bad cholesterol or LDL in your body, causing plaque buildup and leading to a heart attack. French fries, fried chicken, deep-fried mozzarella sticks, and other such foods fall into this category. So if you care about your heart's health, you're going to stop eating or at least limit the consumption of these food items. So there you have it, folks. Our list of 8 items that damage your heart and therefore should be avoided. If you liked finding out about why these are bad for health, make sure to subscribe to our channel because we keep creating more videos related to health and wellness for you to discover.